This is the Iranian Revolutionary Guard guest house, located in this part of Iran. There are three possible scenarios. One involves a bomb being planted in all three rooms and blew up possibly by a remote control. The second scenario describes alleged Mossad operatives waiting until around 2 a.m. to launch a short-range missile at this part of the guest house. The third scenario involves using a stealth jet to hit the target. All these in the video ahead, so don't miss a beat. But first, let's examine the surroundings. This is a 5-story guest house located in the northern part of Iran. The guest house is situated near the Sadabad complex and is surrounded by mountainous regions. It is also open on all sides. This building has around 5 to 6 floors with different rooms on each level. For now, we'll focus on a particular room on the western side of the building. Let's look at scenario 1. Ismail Haniyeh, a senior leader of Hamas, was assassinated by an explosive device covertly smuggled into the Tehran guest house where he was staying. This account is according to 7 Middle Eastern officials, including 2 Iranians and an American official. It's important to note that this is one of the most heavily guarded areas in Iran, under the protection of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. For alleged Mossad operatives to infiltrate this protected area where the streets were thoroughly secured was one of the most daring and well-planned maneuvers they could undertake. From this top angle, we can see Haniyeh's car entering this part of the building. He stayed in this section of the guest house, probably in this specific portion, which has been reported to be his favorite area whenever he visits Iran. This is the tricky part. According to several reports, the bomb was planted 2 months ago, allegedly by operatives possibly either Iranian or Mossad. Let's consider C4 as the explosive used in this case. It typically consists of a remote controller and a main warhead, which is composed of explosives, a plastic binder, a plasticizer to make it malleable, and usually a marker or odorizing target chemical. Although small, C4 can destroy a room with a blast radius of around 4 to 20 feet. Here's how it might have worked. The agents, as suggested, placed the bomb in all 3 rooms 2 months ago. Then, when the time was right, it returned to the desired area near the mountain and activated the explosive from a safe distance by hitting the switch, taking out Haniyeh and his bodyguard, along with the destruction of this part of the room. Let's take a look at scenario 2. There were reports from some witnesses that an object was seen flying from the mountainous region and exploded late at night. The object we're talking is this spike-long-range multi-purpose anti-tank missile system is designed to engage modern armored vehicles, double reinforced fortifications, and enemy personnel at any time of day and in difficult weather conditions. This missile has a range of 200 meters to 4 kilometers, which is well below the guest house. Here are the various parts of the missile. The homing head of the missile, known as the Spike ER, is located in the nose section. Behind it, there is an electronics unit and a leading charge of the cumulative warhead, followed by the main engine. In the central part of the missile's hull, there is a gyroscope and an accumulator battery, the main charge of the warhead with a safety and arming mechanism, and a fuse. The folding steering fins open as soon as they are out of the launcher. Steering drives, launch engine, and fiber optic cable reel are located in the missile's tail section. This is how it might have happened. Around 2 a.m., approximately 2 operatives began moving closer to the building, staying within a range of around 2.4 miles, which is around 4 kilometers. Once in position, the assassin or alleged Mossad operative activated the missile system. They used thermal imaging to see in the dark and guided the missile through an optical wire. This technology allowed the operator to precisely control the missile's trajectory, even in low visibility conditions. The view from the scope likely provided the operative with a clear visual of the target, guiding the missile towards its destination. The missile, as described, has 2 warheads, a precursor warhead at the front and the main warhead at the rear. The precursor warhead is designed to penetrate reinforced structures, such as double-layered concrete walls. Upon breaching the initial barrier, the main warhead then detonates inside the room, causing significant damage. The power and impact of the missile could have potentially destroyed 3 rooms in the guest house. It's important to note that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard reported that a short-range projectile weighing 7 kilograms was launched from outside the compound, consistent with the described attack. This information aligns with the possibility of an external assault using a missile system like the Spike. And the final third scenario involves using a stealth fighter jet like the F-35. However, Iran's air defense forces include the S-300, a Russian long-range surface-to-air missile defense system. Iran purchased the S-300s from Russia in late 2016 for $800 million. Given this, I doubt Israel would risk a $100 million aircraft for a single target, such as this guest house in Tehran, especially considering the potential for being targeted from every angle. Therefore, what I think is happening is that a short-range missile, like this one, might be used instead, but in the fog of war, any one of these could be a possibility. But this might create a domino effect. And this is how Iran will respond with a combination of unmanned drones launched from Iran and towards Israel. An hour later, the UAVs will be probably joined by multiple cruise missiles capable of reaching Israel in just over an hour. Finally, over hundreds of ballistic missiles, which take just between 10 and 15 minutes to arrive, will be launched from Iran. At the same time, drone attacks will be launched by the Houthis in Yemen and Iranian-backed militias in Iraq, while Hezbollah might fire missiles at Israeli positions in the occupied Golan Heights. Let's explain why they are launched at different time intervals, as these drones usually have a speed of around 114 miles per hour, which translates to approximately 185 kilometers per hour. In comparison, a cruise missile has a speed of around 500 miles per hour, which is about 800 kilometers per hour. A ballistic missile, on the other hand, has a speed of around 3,836 miles per hour, translating to approximately 6,174 kilometers per hour. That is exceptionally fast, and as a result, will catch up swiftly. So in summary, when the drones reach the designated target, the cruise missiles and the ballistic missile will eventually strike their targets at almost the same time. Now Israel allies will respond to this threat by launching fighter jets. While the UK fighter jets probably came from Cyprus along with the Voyager Airbus tanker taking on a few drones from the south, fighter jets from American aircraft carriers might take part in neutralizing these missiles, while the US destroyers tackled a couple of dozens of ballistic missiles. While Allied fighter jets could also work together to neutralize drones flying through Jordan and Iraq. As the Allied forces took out a quarter of the drones and missiles, the Israeli defense system kicked into action. Now let's take a look how the Israeli defense system works. The Israeli defense system consists of 3 tiers. First up is the long-range aero missile defense system, which was designed specifically with Iranian missiles in mind. Each of these system rockets costs a few $1 million, and they can intercept missiles outside the Earth's atmosphere, resulting in enhanced protection. The second layer of defense is the so-called David Sling system, designed for taking out missiles and drones. Finally, the Iron Dome stops most short-range rocket attacks in Israel. But Israel has Hezbollah close to the borders, one of the largest non-state actors. Israel's ground invasion towards Lebanon will be meeting with a lot of resistance due to the different layer of defense. Let's take a look at Hezbollah's strategy to counter the IDF defense. These are the areas where tank and armored warfare are difficult to traverse. These tactical defense systems are located all along the border, strategically positioned to be the first line of defense. They can consist of an anti-aircraft gun, usually the Zu-23 Russian weaponry from the 1950s, as discussed in our earlier animation, mounted on a Toyota pickup truck. A tactical defense also needs a company of soldiers armed to the teeth, typically around 100 to 150 soldiers equipped with RPG. An assassination of a single individual responsible for the October 7 attack will again cause a ripple effect all over the Middle East. So let us know what you think, which tactics the alleged Mossad operative adopted to take out Haniyeh. We make original 4K 3D animation with a small team of animators, so please support us by subscribing and dropping in a comment for more exclusive engineering animations made just for you guys.